Next question, it says, I was on Shoryuken the other day, and I saw a bunch of guys with old join dates talking trash about you. So he's probably saying there's people that seem to have been part of the Shoryuken.com community for quite a long time, and they were talking trash about me. I'm not surprised. He says, so naturally I was like, what the fuck? I tried asking what their problem was, and they just told me, oh, you don't know him from back in the day, it's a long story. Anyway, I'm assuming there's a history between you and the fighting game community. No, not between the fighting game community, between me and the Shoryuken.com community. Let's get that straight. It seems like you've had haters even before you were on YouTube. Absolutely. Is this how you became known as the King of Hate? Sincerely, Rich. Well, Rich, it's a long story. I'm not going to get into it. Let me put it to you this way. Way before I even thought of putting a video on YouTube, I was a prominent person in the Shoryuken.com Street Fighter community. I started out as just a big mouth who sucked, started going to tournaments, actually got good, started winning at tournaments and placing at tournaments, and this was, I'd probably say, around the year 2000. As time progressed, I actually started traveling around the country to play, and it would be funny because I would always be considered the underdog, and if I beat anyone good, it would be like a massive upset, and everyone would get all upset and say it was luck or whatever. But I was never afraid to speak my mind. I was always talking shit. I was always, basically saying whatever I wanted, and really meaning it, just like I do on YouTube. When I say stuff on YouTube, I mean it. I'm not going to censor myself or hold myself back. I say what I think is the truth. And a lot of people don't like that, A lot of people just don't like that. And, yeah, I'm going to admit there were times when I went out of control and, I got all crazy and fucking, said really nasty things about people. But that's just part of it. It's part of building hype. That's part of, when there was a local tournament in New Jersey, I would say, well, I hate this motherfucker, and I'm going to bet him $200 in a money match. And next thing you know, there would be massive hype for this tournament in New Jersey because everyone wanted to see me play this guy for a massive amount of money. So that's kind of, the deal. And a lot of people like that, and a lot of people thought, oh, he's just an attention whore, whatever. But the bottom line is that changed over time, and mid-2000 to the late 2000s, I became more of a figurehead in the community, especially on the East Coast. I started running major tournaments. I ran the East Coast Championships one year, along with Josh Wakefall, who's my friend from New York, also a very good Marvel player. And since then, I had a lot of local tournaments in New York, Connecticut, things that I was doing. I was respected. And basically, a lot of people started to trust in my word, especially when it came to Super Turbo. And I think really where the cookie crumbled, so to speak, is I had a major dispute with the people who run Shoryuken.com because one of them actually had written netcode for his online service. You might have heard of it. It's called GGPO, and a lot of people use that online. They say, wow, it's pretty good. It's not very laggy. The truth is, GGPO is a very good netcode, but it masks lag. And that's why when you play GGPO, it feels different than playing, say, Street Fighter 4 online. Street Fighter 4 might slow down or drop inputs. Well, GGPO also drops inputs, but it masks it very well. And so I kind of called them out on that on the forum, and I said, everyone here's kissing their ass. It's really good, don't get me wrong. It's the best netcode, but it's not as good as everyone thinks it's cracked up to be. It still drops inputs. It still has these problems. I wish we would focus on solving those problems rather than thinking we found the Holy Grail. And, of course, when I did that, everything exploded. Apparently there were already talks to try to sell that netcode to Capcom for their games, and so they were like, oh, now DSP opened his big mouth, he blew it. I ended up getting banned from SRK for several years. I had a bad relationship between myself and the people who run Shoryuken.com. And it's not just for that. There's been, year-long disputes. Ever since the first time I met the people in person, we had a dispute about money, about Justin Wong, if you can believe it. When I went to my first West Coast tournament in California, it was the first year that Justin Wong had gone out there and started actually winning every Marvel vs. Capcom 2 tournament. He won the tournament, and then when they gave him his money, they basically shortchanged him. And I called it out. I said, wait, let's do the math here. And I did the math, and it was actually myself and Henry Sen, also from New York, who both did the math in our head and said, this isn't right. He got gypped several $100s from when he was supposed to win this tournament. We called him out, and basically we were told by the Shoryuken.com staff that we're idiots, we don't know what we're talking about, we don't know how to count. They said on the website all this information about how the arcade that this event was held at was going to take money and a cut and things like that. But the bottom line, the website never said it. They actually went back to the website and had to publicly apologize later on because they realized they fucked up. But ever since then, it's kind of been like we have bad blood between us. And at this point in my life, I don't give a fuck about it anymore. As you see, I haven't gone to EVO in a long time. I haven't really traveled to go to tournaments in quite a long time, except for the Super Battle Opera qualifier this year. And to me, it's just water under the bridge. I really don't give a shit. I was going to actually go to EVO this year, but I decided not to because of the whole thing going on with Super Battle Opera. And a lot of people have asked me, what's going on with Shoryuken? Are you ever going to come back? I'm never coming back to Shoryuken full time. I'm done with that community because there's too many people there who just believe whatever they're told. And so for your question, Rich, you're asking why. A lot of people just hate on me because they think it's the cool thing to do on Shoryuken.com because there's a lot of people there who are close to the people who run the website and they're like, oh, it's the cool thing to do is hate on DSP because the people who own the site don't like him that much. Well, it's become like a kind of like a hobby now for these idiots, and unfortunately, yeah, that's the truth. And so yeah, it's a pain in the ass, and I have to deal with it. But I don't care, and I figured maybe I'll go to EVO one more time. It might be next year, 2011, and we'll see how it goes. But that's that. That's the story. Dude, I got 2 fucking flies flying around my condo right now. There's one just went one way and one went the other way. How a pain in the ass. They must be sneaking in on the door or something. But anyway, that's the story with that. Yeah, there's a lot more to it. It could be a lot more complicated, but I'm not going to get too far into it because obviously I don't want to bore you. But that's the gist of it. And I might go to EVO one more time, but basically I'm kind of done from being a major part of that community simply because there's too many idiots and assholes who jump on this hate on DSP bandwagon without really knowing me, without really knowing what I'm about. And that's why a lot of people, when they came to YouTube and they saw me, and they're like, isn't this the guy who everyone hates? And then when they started watching me, they're like, wow, he's actually not that bad of a guy. It's because everyone basically lies and spreads rumors and makes shit up. So what are you going to do? Okay. Being that it's almost, I've definitely been talking over 10 minutes. I've only answered 4 questions. This is going to be a long video. I'm going to probably answer one more question and then I'll break this up. We'll do maybe 2 parts. Okay. Let me actually get a sip here.